right, everyone, we'd like to get started with the meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Here. Here.
Here.
Gardner. Nelson. Here. Phillips. Here.
With 7 aldermen answering the call for we do have a quorum. We're prepared to do business. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I'd like to call up Pastor Stokes for a word of prayer.
Thank you, Mayor. Let us pray. Father, we thank you tonight for these leaders, for this business that they have been endowed to conduct. We want to pray tonight for the students and educators who are returning to school. We pray for their minds, that they can operate and learn and grow and shine and evolve. We pray for educators tonight, that they have hearts that are open and they understand the grace that they've been given to teach and impart and raise up the next generation. We pray for safety, for the travels of our students who go to and from school. We pray for protection in the schools, from the doors, the hallways, and every corridor. We ask that this be a year that the students excel and go beyond and above, and we ask your grace upon them in the name of Jesus tonight. And we ask that you continue to lead us and guide us, and that you order our steps, for you declare in your word that you would keep us in perfect peace if we keep our mind stayed on you. So this is our prayer tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Before we begin, just like to give to the council a few economic development items, and then I will ask for a motion to deviate. So we received a lot of grants. I know we have our engineers here tonight to talk about a lot of the grant money that we've been getting. We've been also getting grant reimbursement checks. The first check we got for reimbursement was $81,000. This was for our PACE bus transfer facility. The second check that we got for reimbursement that was tendered to the treasurer was $42,000 for our PACE bus facility. And we also received a check for $233,000 from Cook County as a reimbursement check. And lastly, we got awarded a couple of grants. I think we got awarded a $360,000 grant. Ken Chastain is here tonight to talk about that grant. We also got awarded a $750,000 grant. So at the end of tonight, I will make sure that the aldermen get copies of this that has also been tendered to our city treasurer. This just shows that Calumet City is on the move. We're in the right position, the right time. People are paying attention to what we're doing in Calumet City, and I want to thank Cook County Board President Preckwinkle, the state of Illinois, for not only sending us these funds as we told the aldermen that we would get, but we are moving to the phase where now we're at the phase where we are ready to rebuild and we're ready to bring these construction projects that you see on the screen to fruition tonight and ready to move. I also want to announce that we have a lot of grand openings coming up. I sent that to my colleagues. We have Burlington grand opening tomorrow, August 15th at 9 a.m. All the public are invited to attend. I was told you guys will not get $100 off on items, so you guys will show up. Burlington will definitely welcome us, but the Burlington grand opening is tomorrow at 9 a.m. It's in the River Oaks West parking lot. And of course, on August 29th, we have the Calumet City Grocery and Spirits the grand opening on August 29th as well, which will be at 2 p.m. We also have a grand opening for Global Water. That will be in September 19th. And we have a grand opening for Five Below that's coming to Calumet City. That will be September 26th. So again, I am excited about these grand openings. I'm excited about these companies that are leaving other communities to come to Calumet City. I'm excited about what we have and the vision that we're implementing for Calumet City. And I want the public to not only join us at all these grand openings, but also when you hear and tell your neighbors that we got exciting items coming to Calumet City. As tonight, you will hear about the new businesses that we have coming to Calumet City as well. So with that said, before we do public comment, is there a motion to deviate to take up items under resolutions, items number 1, 4, 5, and 6? Is there a motion to deviate?
So move.
Motion made by Alderman Tillman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Harvey. We're in deviation, so at this point, we will call up Christina to present our Community Economic Development Director, and also possibly Val Williams to introduce our businesses that are requesting Class 8 coming to Calumet City.
Good evening. So on the agenda, we do have a Class 8 renewal for Andy's Hot Dogs, which would be located at 803 River Oaks Drive. And we have Stephen Griffin from Griffin Law representing, who will speak on this project.
Thank you, Christina. Once again, my name is Stephen Griffin, and I'm honored to be here tonight, Mayor and the Alderman. So this is Andy's Hot Dogs at 803 River Oaks Drive. This Class 8 incentive, I'm sure you're all familiar with what that is, but it's an incentive through Cook County to encourage development for new construction and buildings that have been vacant and abandoned. We are asking for a renewal of this incentive, which was originally granted in 2005 and renewed in 2015. The renewal period is for 10 years, and the benefit is it reduces the level of assessment from 25%, which is for all industrial and commercial property in Cook County, to 10%. And then in year 11, it would go up to 15%. And then year 12 up to 20%. This operator, Mr. Economos, has been there for 20 years. I think did a wonderful job surviving the pandemic, and has, I think, offered a nice alternative to the city. So if anybody has any questions, or I'm here to answer them.
Do any aldermen have any questions? Just for everyone's benefit, we always ask when requesting Class 8 that the business come before the City Council and present what you've done for the neighborhood. We thank Andy's for being a good neighbor in the 7th Ward. And this will come up in resolutions that we will take this up and hopefully approve it. So thank you for your presentation. But we will approve this in the order of business under resolutions and ordinances.
Thank you.
Can you, Christina, present our next business?
Alrighty, so the next that we have would actually be Tiki's Turkeys LLC, who is on the agenda for a redevelopment agreement for 1625 Sibley. It does say in there 1625 Burnham, but that is a typo. It's 1625 Sibley. But we have Tiki Nguyen, who is the owner, representing today, and she will be presenting her project.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity to bring Tiki's Turkeys to Calumet City. This project will create jobs, activate a currently vacant building, and provide a new dining option that will draw people to the area. I'm previously a business owner in Arizona with food trucks and restaurants. People dream of clothes, shoes, and purses. I dream of drive-thrus. So this fits and aligns with my previous dream of owning a drive-through location. We have an eclectic, urban spin on food for the soul, which is soul food, with a healthy version offering a large variety of turkey options. We'll have dine-in and drive-through as well. We've lined up our contractors, and we're prepared to start work immediately. We're excited to be a part of the Calumet City growth and look forward to finalizing this partnership. I also have a T-shirt from Mayor Thaddeus. And if you guys notice, we have T-shirts in the front and back, says coming soon. So we do a lot of marketing, so we'll be a good pillar in the community.
So the first rule of marketing is we got 7 aldermen plus the clerk plus the treasurer.
I looked online to get the count.
Everybody's going to need a shirt, because I don't
And
want
I'll
them
have
mad at me.
everyone a shirt prepared for the grand opening.
Okay.
Any questions?
Does any alderman have any questions?
Is this the second ward? What ward is this?
I believe it's the 4th ward.
Is the fourth ward? 16?
1625 Sibley.
It's Sibley. But we'll get clarification, Alderwoman. I believe it's the 4th ward. Okay. I believe with the redistricting, it's the 4th ward, but we'll get clarification.
Okay,
So they fighting over you already.
wonderful. Any questions?
Any more questions?
Well, I do. We sort of already have history with Andy, so these questions were already asked. But how many employees from Calumet City do you plan to employ?
The employee staff roster will be between 10 and 15 full and part-time open positions.
And Calumet City residents will have
Yes.
the first dibs on it?
Yes.
Good job, good news. That was my only question.
Okay.
Thank you so much. You can wait around. We're going to approve this and when we get the resolutions and ordinances.
Okay, thank you so much.
Next, we have Attorney Dominic Lanzito to present item that was approved through the zoning board. There was a zoning board meeting on August 12th. Minutes of such will be coming to the council, but Dominic, this is something that we've talked about in the past. Tonight before the council, this is the hard work that the city council has put in as well in demanding reviews and renderings. So on the screen tonight, you have what will be coming to the 7th Ward. Attorney Dominic.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the City Council. This project is part of a land exchange and a settlement agreement with Mr. Abdallah, and he previously owned 473 Burnham, which was in the 1st Ward. It's a corner property. It was an auto sales location, a gas station before that. But this is the old Cassidy Tire location. So we purchased that location when Cassidy Tire then closed and left the city. And when I saw the concept, so basically it's before you for the rezoning from a B1 to a B2 district, as well as a special use, which is required to operate a fuel station. So what you see here, the building is going to be renovated and repurposed, but the canopy, the electric charging stations, all the fuel stations, obviously those aren't there, but those will be installed. So, and frankly, we had to look at the floor plans and some of the layouts, but everything you see there is what's going to be at that location. So it's a site that was left to be abandoned by a business. The city purchased it, and we're also going to gain control through this agreement, as you're aware, because you approved the settlement agreement previously, 473 Burnham, that corner property in the first ward, and then we will have properties that are contiguous to that for some development opportunities. So without giving too much away about those, but I think there are a lot of upcoming potential developments. So this is going to be, it was approved 473 Burnham was previously approved, and then there were some issues, but now this is the culmination of the work of not only the city council, the mayor, community economic development, Val, Christina, and frankly the entire team, and working with Mr. Abdallah and his, I would say, persistence and dedication to Calumet City, and willingness to continue to work with us when we offered him a different location. And this is what he's bringing to us, and all of you, including, like I said, charging stations, which electrification is likely the future of auto travel. So it'll put you on the forefront there as well. But everyone's probably heard about this long enough, so I'm pretty sure there's no questions, but if there are, I'm happy to answer.
I do have a question.
Alderwoman Phillips?
Just for clarity, because I thought the Cassidy location was closer to the River Oaks Mall. I'm confused.
What do you mean, ma'am?
So there was a vacant lot where the Cassidy, if I'm not mistaken, was on Burnham Avenue? Or am I thinking
It's on
of something
159.
else?
1077 159th Street, and I think Cassidy just vacated recently.
Is that near the shrimp place?
It's down this.
So that would be the.
Yes.
My
You're right.
confusion is you say first ward, but that's actually the seventh ward. So
No,
that's
the
where-
473 Burnham was in
Oh,
the
you're
first
talking
ward.
about
That was the other
two
property.
separate- okay.
So then
That's what I
they
need
chose this
clarity.
location in your ward,
Yep.
Councilwoman. And then we're going to do the land exchange, so sorry if I was unclear.
that was the confusion for me. Thank you.
Okay. We will approve this in resolutions and ordinances as well.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council.
Last presentation is our Rebuild Illinois grant. Many of you know we received $750,000 from Rebuild Illinois to create downtown Burnham. This begins the process, and it also goes into what the state of Illinois has committed to Calumet City to make a lane diet from Burnham Avenue, from the bridge all the way down to Michigan City Road. So our engineer, Ken Chastain, and Matt Berger are here to talk about the good news that we have with Burnham Avenue.
Well, thank you, Mayor and Madam Clerk, Mr. Treasurer, the City Council. Good to be with you again tonight. Mayor, you started off talking about grants, and that is good news, right? We got recent news about grants continually. The CED department does an excellent job of processing those grants. But the ones you mentioned, $750,000 to begin planning the infrastructure at Public Works, to be able to prepare for the future, for your future buildings, so we'd have a better facility for the workers there. And then also $360,000 from Cook County for transportation grant and planning. So tonight I do want to talk about transportation. The largest share of our grants come for transportation planning and transportation construction. So when you came into office, Mayor, you said the corridors were going to be critical. They're critical for public safety, for our pedestrians, our drivers, and also for economic development. So with your help, we were able to get resurfacing for Burnham Avenue. We were able to get resurfacing for River Oaks Drive and Torrance, and those are huge. And since that time, we were able to get more grants. And right now, we're looking at this, in the next 12 months, we're looking to start projects on 3 major corridors, about $7 million in planning and engineering design. The first one is for State Street. We're looking at $1.7 million to start the engineering design. That is federal money. There's no match on that, and so that's a big, exciting project to finally improve that road. We're also looking to do some resurfacing, I believe, Matt, on Dalton State, correct?
That's correct, actually. We have a bid opening on Tuesday, potentially, for some
Okay,
Dalton road
so
improvements.
getting that, while it's under federal planning and funding, we know that takes years, so we want to be able to get that road improved. The other major one, of course, is Pulaski. Pulaski is a major corridor, and we received a $3 million federal grant to start the planning for a complete street for Pulaski Road, all the way from Michigan City, all the way to state line. So again, Mayor, getting that money to resurface and putting that in early in your term, that was huge because it improved the road, and we know these federal grants take a long time. But the Burnham Avenue is just a huge, important factor. It's really kind of a historical main street for the city. So the mayor really charged Farnsworth Group with the idea, what can we do to try to improve Burnham Avenue? And along the line there, after it was resurfaced, the mayor worked with IDOT to be able to get funded a Phase 1 planning study to do a complete rebuild of Burnham Avenue from Chicago all the way through Lansing. And that's a huge opportunity. But prior to that, we were able to get a grant under the Rebuild Illinois program called the Main Street Rebuild Downtowns. And it provided $686,000 to be able to do some things there on Burnham Avenue, and we're going to really focus on branding Burnham Avenue as a heritage corridor. The first phase of this, the first component, are monument signs. We want to brand it as a Burnham Heritage Corridor, so we're going to have these monument signs. There'll be 6 in total. The first 2 will be heading south and north right off of the State Street Bridge on the south side at Harding in the right-of-way of IDOT on both sides, with IDOT-approved monument signs that would be solar lighted, solar lit. So we'll be welcoming people to the Burnham Avenue corridor, Heritage Corridor. The second sign will be a memorial over on the northwest corner in the right-of-way. The next one is on Pulaski and Burnham, and that is on city-owned property there at the southeast corner. And then the final 2 are at the south end of the Heritage Corridor, which is Michigan City Road. On both sides, we're proposing to have monument signs, again, welcoming people to this, hopefully, new economic development engine for the city. So the components of the grant are, we have these, again, the termini is at north side is State Street at the bridge, all the way south to Michigan City Road. The first phase will be these 6 monument signs. The second phase is we're looking to put banners along the whole corridor from Michigan City all the way north to State, along the light poles that IDOT has and maintains there. And then the last phase, with the remainder of the grant, we'd like to buy some new improved planters that the Public Works has already been looking and shopping after. So the goal is to spend all of this money, there's no match with it, $686,000. And tonight, we have a motion before the council to approve the first award, which is to Rhoda Signs. Rhoda Signs, a longtime South suburban business based in South Holland, and they won a competitive bid to design and install these monuments. I would note that the design of the monuments are going to be done with the approval of the city of Calumet City, so we're not designing them, they're going to design them, they would build them and get the IDOT permitting. So the city and the staff will be able to review all of the designs.
Ken, before you go on, can everyone see the monitors? We want to make sure that everyone can see the monitors.
Can everybody got a chance to see? Okay. Anyway, exciting things happening. Again, in these next 3-4 years, we're going to see quite a bit of activity that's really going to change things and be able to improve these corridors. The last corridor is very important, and that's Wentworth Avenue. We received a $2.3 million grant to design and to plan for a complete street, and you'll be hearing about that in the coming months. Both Pulaski and Wentworth both have very strong public engagement elements to them, so your wards will be very involved in helping to bring ideas to the city. We'll get input. We'll have engagement where we can get ideas from the public in the 1st Ward, the 5th Ward, about what we'd like to be able to see happen so that the residents can have a safer street and one that's going to attract more businesses. Any questions?
And for Alderman Gardner, part of the $2.3 million was going into the Forsyth Village. So once we get this, we put on the agenda the RFP for Forsyth Village to improve that, but we got to improve the siting and the watering, so the $2.3 million grant goes into some of that. Alderman Gardner, you got questions?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ken. Do you have any photos that you could present to council with the signage?
Actually, I don't. And the reason being is that the award includes the design of the signs. So while we could show you a concept that we've had, we're really asking the vendor, Rhoda Signs, to come up with a new design. And they have to meet IDOT guidelines. So they have to have a certain height. They can't be too high. They can't be too wide. And they do have to be breakaway signs. If a car was to hit them, you know, the car does not damage people, hurt people, the sign goes down. But I don't have one of those. However, when that design is coming forward, I'm sure that the mayor would like to share that with the council.
Okay.
I have 2 questions.
Alderman Wilson?
My first question, well, to piggyback off of Alderman Gardner, with the signs, you don't have the design. Can we make a suggestion before we vote or not vote on this?
Sure.
Because of course, every sign will have the mayor's name on it, but it would be nice to have the alderperson of each ward that the sign is in to also be underneath the mayor's name. Also, the $2.3 million grant, it was a federal grant?
It's a federal, right, Surface Transportation Program grant, STP grant, and that's issued from the federal government. It's given to the Chicago Region for Planning, the Chicago Metropolitan Planning Agency, and then that money goes to the South Suburban Mayors and Managers. And the city competed for that money, and we scored on both Pulaski and Wentworth in the top 3 of those awards.
And do you know what amount is going to Forsyth Village and what will be just spent on Wentworth?
No, in fact, Matt's team is working on that. A large component of the Forsyth Village plan, at this point, the initial part is the stormwater planning, and Matt can speak to that greater, but I know that the MWRD is looking to help fund that project.
Thank you.
Yeah, at the current moment, we're studying right now with the stormwater capital plan that the city council passed in May. We're putting together preliminary plans for that to get the concepts and some of the material that we need in order to get an RFP out on the street. With respect to the Wentworth, that is Surface Transportation Program funding, so it's only eligible to hit the entire western side of Forsyth Village. But as that project's going through the plan, they'll be looking at access into Forsyth Village, improvements that maybe need to be occurring, the pedestrian amenities that also be associated with the improvements there. That is a phase 1 study. Through the federal process, you go phase 1, which is essentially develop the plan, it's planning, preliminary engineering, and then it goes to phase 2, which is final design, and then construction. So we got a $2.3 million for phase 1. The State Street one is phase 2, so that one's closer to construction. Now, once you get done with the planning, you get all the approvals, that one's moving faster. And then Pulaski is a phase 1 also too, as well.
And for the benefit of the council, a complete street under your ordinance does include that the planning look at the viability of pedestrian improvements, so improved ability for safety, better sidewalks, completing sidewalk grids, but also to allow for bicycle access. So if it's a bike lane or a bike path, bike route. So the engineers, the planners will be looking at what can work there. And then we have to get IDOT approval because it's got to be approved for this federal money. So it's all about safety, especially you think about Pulaski, you got 2 major schools there, right? So how do we make sure that we're getting those kids better access so they can walk to school or ride their bike?
And as Ken stated, all of the design work will come to the city council. So tonight is just the bid award that was bid for, and Rhoda Signs won the bid. So tonight is just to go forward with that work, and all the design will come before the city council.
Yep, so I have a question. When will the Burnham Avenue work start? And how far, where would it begin and when will it end? From what start to the end?
Sure. So there's, I talked tonight about 2 components. The big one is what we call a phase 1 planning study for Burnham. That's going to start, that would start actually at the river, at State, north of State Street, and go all the way into Lansing. So it involves both communities. And what the city or what the state will be looking at, because it is their road, they have jurisdiction on it, they'll be looking at, are there ways in which we can slow the traffic down or make it safer?
Yeah.
It may include, when they talk to the city about ways to go from a 4-lane to a 2-lane, to create more parking opportunities for businesses on Burnham, to create more opportunities for people to walk along the road and be safer, create a more attractive streetscape with planters and with trees, with pedestrian lighting. So they're going to be looking at all those components, and they're paying for all of that. This grant, this Main Street grant, is really just about branding. And the goal was for Pulaski and for Burnham was to create a certain identity.
Right.
I know the mayor's talked often about Pulaski, particularly on the east end here, creating a gateway into Illinois, into the city, and creating opportunities for businesses. Well, what can we do to do that on the road that would make it more attractive? And further, we know this is the home of the city hall, and it may be your future city hall at some date in the future. What can we make sure that the Pulaski Avenue corridor is a great home and location for that, so we can encourage more businesses to come around here? Anything else?
Yes. Can you go back to the slide, please?
Sure. Which one? Do we want to look at
No, the one with the 50 light poles. Right, phase 2.
Okay. So we want, I'm sorry, go ahead. 60, yep. That's the light pole banners.
50 banners.
Right. There's a lot of banners, a lot of poles. Right. You know, one of the challenges of this, Alderman, was that we applied for the grant, and we got the grant, and then the state said, hey, we're going to do a planning study for this right-of-way. So all of our plans to do things, we had to rethink everything because the state may tear everything out that we put in.
Are these paper banners, digital banners?
No, they'll be permanent style banners. Okay. Again, we'll use some branding that the city and the city council will be looking at, but it's all about celebrating the corridor. And one of the things we want to look at is what can we do in the future, particularly if this sidewalk and the right-of-way changes, maybe to make some educational efforts there. You know, we could do something about African-American history on this corridor. So I think there's great opportunities to engage the public, but when the state IDOT, who owns the road, said, hey, time out, we want to do something here, we had to sort of rethink how we spend this money on the grant. So the banners are just a way to sort of celebrate and get people to identify that Burnham Avenue is a great place to do a business.
It's sort of like the veterans banners that we put up, Alderman, honoring the veterans in Calumet City. Those are the type of banners that will go up.
Yeah, they'll be vertical in nature.
Okay. We do have some say-so on what these banners look like, correct?
Right. Okay. Yes. Oh, yes.
All right. What about these planners?
Yep.
Are we talking planners that are like the ones that already exist?
No, you know what? I know that Jericho and
It's
has been talked
essentially
about,
it's an
right?
update to that. I know that Public Works was looking to order new ones, get them up to, get them improved, get more planners and everything like that. And
Well, I think that's a conversation we may need to be had at a later date. I'm kind of not opposed to greenery and, flowers and those things, but something that's a little bit more self-keeping, so
Right.
to say. Some statues, I don't know.
Sure.
Like Magnificent Mile, cows, dogs, deers, I don't know. Something that we don't have to, something that we don't have to go and
maintain,
dig up and then replant every year.
Understood.
The amount of man hours that go into keeping these planters
Okay.
kept is getting astronomical, and just adding to the more work that our public works have to do.
Well, and I believe that Commissioner Thomas would be happy to hear from you and get input, so we're going to rely on Mr. Jericho for that.
Well, I have something, I agree to some sort, but you have some women here, we want to see the community beautiful too. We want to see it bright, we want to see boldness, like when you go over into South Holland, into Lansing. So I get some of the statues, but don't disregard the flowers, sorry. So include me in that, because we need to deal with River Oaks Drive. That's another tough topic.
May I ask a question since we're on Burnham? This 686,000, is that all Phase 1 and Phase 2, what we're looking at?
It's
We're
actually,
spending 686,000 on signs and flowers.
yes, it's on these three components, we believe would use up the balance of the entire amount of the grant.
Is that grant
Now-
written that way, that it can only be used for those two items?
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
So the grant was all about streetscaping Burnham and branding it as a heritage corridor. They approved it, we gave them some ideas. When the state said, hey, we want to take a look at this right-of-way, the sidewalks, right, the side of the road, we had to rethink it. But everything that we did here cannot be outside of the scope of the grant. So we had to find something that fit.
Okay, and my last question, I had it and it just went like that. No, we've been hearing about the Burnham corridor for quite some time.
Right.
This is my 5th year listening to it. And so I went back, and like you said, what we're doing now would be for the future of Calumet City. So going back in time, the aldermen that were here, they were thinking about the future of Calumet City, and there was a Burnham plan. Was any part of former Alderman Michael Navarrete's plan thought of when, as far as the landscape, and as we move along for the Burnham corridor, will you be using any of that?
Yes, Alderwoman, that's a good question, and the answer is yes. In fact, he was involved in the planning with Val and CED at the time, with us, and was part of the application. And in fact, the branding that we're talking about was also part of that study that he was involved in helping support from the grant for the planning.
All right,
Yes.
thank you.
All right, so again, our goal tonight is to approve the bid award, the questions that the Alderman asked tonight. We will make sure they'll be a part of going forward, the timeline that we have to submit to IDOT. The Alderman will have input on that to make sure that we're doing this the right way and doing it so we can submit it to IDOT for further approval. But this goes along with the $8 million diet study or diet plan that IDOT will do for Burnham Avenue, turning Burnham Avenue from 4 lanes into 2 lanes and creating a landscape as Ken presented. But that's part of the $8 million that we're going to get, making sure that Burnham Avenue is a 2-lane diet road with landscaping and making it beautiful. That's part of the 8 years, now 3 years, that we have to do for IDOT with this, since IDOT owns the road. But Ken, timeline-wise, how are we looking timeline-wise once we approve this so the council can have input and going forward?
Right. We're looking to get started, I'm sorry. We're expecting Rhoda to get started on this right away. They're itching to get started, and they've already been working on some design concepts. So as soon as we can get those in our hands, we'll ask for some options, and then we'll be able to share that with the city. So our goal is to get this all completed, of the monuments installed before the end of the year, and we'd really like to get the banners up before the end of the year. So we'd like to move on a tight timeline.
So going forward, let's make sure that Rhoda comes before the city council. We can have joint meetings with Rhoda, whatever design they come up with, so we're tinkering with the design at the same time.
Okay.
That we're getting this going, since it's an accelerated timeline.
Okay, I would suggest a committee of the whole, and we could do that workshop.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, everyone, that is the end of our presentations. Is there a motion to return to the regular order of business at 6:45 PM?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Phillips, second by Alderman Williams. All in favor? All right, everyone, we are back in the regular order of business at 6:46 PM. Item 4 on the agenda is public comment. Is there anyone from the public who'd like to comment on any item on the agenda? If so, please step to the mic. Is there anyone from the public who'd like to comment on any item on the agenda tonight? Seeing no takers, we should move on with our agenda. We have got a request from the clerk we will do the minutes at the next meeting. So item number 5 under the minutes, we will do the minutes at the next meeting. The minutes are before you, so please go through the minutes. If you have any questions, send them to myself, send them to the clerk. But these minutes will be on the August 28th agenda. Item number 6 are informational items to be accepted and placed on file. Does anyone have any questions regarding items 6A through D?
Yes. This is going to be for C, regarding the Warren study.
Yes, Alderman.
I noticed the language in the supplemental packet stated that there was an analysis done for an all four-way stop. There was just a request for the 2 directions going north and southbound. So I don't know if that had anything to do with the decision that was rendered, but could you provide more information on that?
Yeah, yes, Alderman, associated with that, we had to look at, for the interchange, or at the intersection there, we have to look at all legs of the intersection in order to properly analyze it, just to make sure that it meets warrants. Unfortunately, with the stop signs, it did not meet warrants, and stop sign, if we put one in, it could be conceived as a traffic control measure, like traffic calming, and that actually could pose problems if there was an accident there. Someone could go after the city then, saying that it was improperly put up and a stop sign shouldn't be there. So I would advise not putting a stop sign there. However, the city has received an Invest in Cook grant, and there is opportunity for improvement there, and we're working out the details now because we are potentially receiving an award for that there at that location.
Okay. Thank you for that explanation.
And Matt, if you can work with the Alderman on the request with the Invest in Cook for this item.
Yes, yeah. Alderman, we have paperwork that has come through from Cook County, and I'll work with CED to make sure that we get that in your hands so you can see it.
Thank you. And will that allow us to put some sort of barriers up in front of the property that keeps getting hit?
It would, essentially what was proposed was in the Wentworth corridor plan that was put together, that was presented to council in, I believe it was May, or maybe April, but it was presented earlier this year. We went with that corridor study and we submitted that location knowing that there were concerns there. We discussed it with, I know there was another section that we also were considering too, but having discussed it with yourself and Alderman at the time, the first ward Alderman, we decided that location at 157th was probably the most critical one because of or 156th place, because given the accidents and the concerns that we've had with the residents there and the vehicular, just the traffic, the safety measures that we needed to incorporate. So we put in that application. The application was successful, and right now we just got the intergovernment agreement back literally just days ago on it. So we'll provide that information over to you so that way you are fully aware of everything going on there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Under informational items, is there a motion to accept items 6A through D and place them on file? Motion made by Alderman Williams. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Items will be placed on file. Item 7 are action items, new business. I committed to the council that we would have all the overtime that would be, as we went through our budget, that each item would be on our agenda. So tonight you have the motions for overtime for past events and several upcoming events. Are there any questions? And Alderman Gardner, there was a motion, we added the motion directing the city attorney to engage the school districts for crossing guard program. Are there any questions on items 7.1 through 6?
Mayor, item 7.3 should read Sunday, August 17th.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Tillman, would you make a motion to approve items 7.1 through 6?
So I'd like to make a motion to approve items 7.1 through 6 as amended.
Second with discussion.
Second by Alderwoman Wilson. Alderwoman Wilson.
So my only discussion is on item 2, number 2. And I understand you bringing forth overtime before the council. This event was scheduled 2 months prior to it happening. And it is a back-to-school event on August 2nd of this year. It was to start at 9 a.m. It was approved for barricades as well as garbage cans by Public Works. At 10 o'clock, we still had no barricades as kids are jumping in bouncy houses and cars are still coming down the street. I called the chair, Alderwoman Nelson, to find out what was going on since nobody from Public Works would return my call. And we were informed that the mayor requested 4 aldermen to approve overtime for an event that had been previously approved, again, 2 months prior. It is very important that we prioritize the safety of our children here in Calumet City over any political maneuvering. And this was something that didn't have to be. Should a kid have fallen out of a bouncy house into harm's way in front of an oncoming car who didn't have sense enough not to drive down the street where a bouncy house was erected in the first place, then that child would have been dead and that would have been on this council. I thank Alderwoman Nelson and Alderwoman Phillips for championing my call when I asked for somebody to do something. I thank the residents of Calumet City for bringing their own vehicles out to stop the traffic. Public Works didn't get out there until almost 12 o'clock. From 9 to 12, those children were left exposed. I just ask that this council, if we approve something, we know we are approving overtime. We are approving that the departments that are being requested to be in attendance are going to be paid. That's a no-brainer. There were other things that happened prior to this back-to-school event that were not approved, that never came before this council. There was an area in the first ward that was blocked off for a church. Never came before the council, but police had it blocked off. Public Works had barricades out. We cannot pick and choose or prioritize the safety of one over another. That's all I have.
Thank you, Alderman. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Alderman. Item 7, 1 through 6 are approved. We're on to item number 8, which are building permits. 8 through 6. Are there any questions on the building permits 8 through 6? If no questions, can someone please make a motion to approve the...
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Wilson.
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Harvey. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes.
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 So for item number 9, I would like to call up Director Tillman first, and then Attorney Lanzito. And these items we will take separately, unless the council want to take them together. This is requiring a fence variance. Director Tillman. The attorney informed us that these items, since they don't involve litigation, have to be discussed in open session. These matters have been going for a while. We have the residents here from 40 Shroom and I believe from 953 Wentworth. Director Tillman, and then Attorney Lanzito.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Is it okay if I pass out the memorandums from the top? So 40 Shroom, we had a building permit issued for a fence. They're seeking to install an 8-foot privacy fence at the residence of 40 Shroom Road. For various reasons that was attached in each one of your packet. Here you have before you the memorandum from City Council for each and every one of you council members to read and go over to make a decision. My position is that I just present to you as a member of the body of employment for Calumet City what the ordinance states. And so the ordinance states as laid out in sections 14764, 14755, and 14763, that all of the requests are against what's City Council, what's on the ordinance as so presented. And so if you have specific questions as it relates to the ordinance, Attorney Lanzito can answer those.
Attorney Lanzito, or you want to wait for any questions? I know we passed the memorandum around. This item has been debated, talked about. You heard Director Tillman's questions. This is in the 6th Ward. Alderwoman Nelson, how would you like to, this is the 5th Ward, I'm sorry. Alderwoman Nelson, how would you like to proceed?
Second.
There was a motion made by Alderwoman Nelson to approve item 9-1 on the agenda, second by Alderwoman Williams, I'm sorry. Williams. Sorry, Alderwoman. Are there any questions? If not, Madam Clerk, can you please?
I have some questions.
Alderman Tillman.
Currently, if I'm looking at this picture right, there's a chain link fence?
The chain link fence is there, but it is owned by the business, which is Calumet City Furniture.
Okay, so where would this fence would go along that fence?
That's correct. So they're seeking 3 variances. One is to install a privacy fence, which will be a fence on a fence, because the furniture store stated no to removing their fence. The second would be an 8-foot privacy fence. And the third would be, the privacy fence, and then the third would be the height.
the proper way to put a fence on a fence would to have a certain setback, correct?
Correct.
And so they're asking to not have that setback?
No, I think when I spoke with them, they stated to me that they were okay with making it a 2-foot setback, so they would be able to get in between both fences in order to maintain the vegetation. But it would still be 3 approvals.
Okay. And I guess to the alderwoman who wants to approve it, what's the difference between 6 and 8 feet, setting a precedent like that across the city? You know, what's going to happen when other neighbors come to us and ask for an 8-foot fence because they're next to a business? There are a lot of residents that are next to businesses.
Well, you could see behind it, but it's on a busy street. It's the only home along the block that is visible from that busy street. It gets a lot of traffic, and there's some things that are going on behind the house, where it's perversion and different things like that. So it's just what they put in for. If you want to step up and you could ask her some questions, you can.
Oh, you got it.
You know, I can probably give you a little context, if I may. So, Alderwoman Nelson and myself met with the homeowners. There's a couple of the issues, as the Alderwoman said, there's the business right there. Part of the problem is the way the current fence is, you can see through it. So they think they were proposing a vinyl fence, which is solid in nature. That's one of the deviations from the code that would be required. But it's currently a 6-foot fence. But as it looks, as it is now, they can see through. So they have young children. And so I think part of the problem is the visualization from the parking lot area into their backyard, which does really have a lack of privacy. But to your point, 6 foot is the highest residential fence the city allows. Residential. So.
I don't think we have a problem, Alderwoman, with the variance or the privacy. It's just the height, because if we are to vote on that, we are opening that height variance to the city.
Yeah, and one other thing, the homeowners, they understand the vegetation issue and have stated with a little setback, they're more than happy and willing to maintain it. They want to maintain their property, so they do take pride in their home. So I don't see the vegetation as an issue if there's a separation.
City Attorney, is there a way that we can make this non-precedential, so we can say that it applies only to this house, and any resident that comes before this, they would have to still go before the zoning board, is there a way tonight that we can add into the motion?
So, Your Honor, this didn't go before the zoning board because your code has 2 avenues. One is through the building code, which then goes to the fire chief to make the determination of whether it's allowable. The other is through the zoning board to get relief and variations. So you do have 2 avenues. This one didn't go through the zoning board, rather that review by an appeal by the fire chief. And that's how that is here before you. By its nature, each variation is unique. So if you make a finding of a particular harm or hardship with respect to this property and the adjacent building due to some of the circumstances that Alderwoman Nelson talked about, I believe it's unique to the property because every variation is unique to the property, Your Honor. So in that regard, I would say because of some of the, to be professional, the perversions that Alderwoman Nelson, there's some graphic stuff that has happened that you don't want to subject kids to. So this is a very unique situation. You have a situation where the business owner won't pull down a fence or put up a privacy fence, although the owners have stated they would pay for it. But, you know, you're having that happy medium where you're giving a full privacy fence, which is a variation, a fence on fence, which is a variation. But it is unique to this particular property and the plight of these homeowners.
All right, does the council wish to have opportunity for the resident to be heard, or would you, well, we're in the vote motion now, so.
I'm all right to vote.
I have another question. The business, do they receive any incentives from the city?
I don't know that, Alderwoman.
We'll find out, Alderman.
Because it's all about being good neighbor on all sides. So when they say no, they're not going to do something, and it benefits their neighbor, I don't understand that, especially if they're receiving incentives from this city.
I would be speculating, Alderwoman, if they are receiving anything.
We'll check, Alderwoman, and let you know. We're in the vote phase. There's been a motion and a second. Questions have concluded. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Gardner.
Yes.
Nelson. Yes. Phillips. Yes. Harvey.
Present.
Wilson.
Yes.
Tillman.
No.
Williams.
Yes.
On a roll call vote of 5, Madam Clerk. 5 yeses, 1 present, and 1 no. The motion does pass, is approved for item 9-1 for 40 Shroom. Congratulations.
Yeah, the other one.
Residents in the audience. The next item is 953 Wentworth. This matter is similar. Is this located in the 5th Ward, Director?
Yes. So 953 Wentworth have an existing 3.5-foot chain link fence. They are seeking to install a 6-foot chain link fence. However, because they are corner lot, the ordinance states that the fence have to be built on the building line as opposed to the property line, and in doing so, they will lose approximately 5 feet of their property. So their variance is requesting to be able to remove and replace the fence in its existing state, being 6 feet, and not losing the 5 feet being on the corner lot.
And, excuse me, Director, didn't he state that he wanted to kind of angle the fence in the alley?
Yes, he's willing to do a 45 angle coming out the alley to make sure that there's no obstruction coming out the alley onto the street.
Okay. I'm okay with that. He has made some sort of concession. The resident has a dog that is going to be in the yard, so. 2 dogs. Thank you. And I'm okay with it.
Okay. Alderman, would you like to make a motion to?
Yes, I would like to make a motion for item number 9, number 2, to approve the chain link fence, variance fence, 953 Wentworth is presented.
Motion made by Alderman Gardner. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Wilson. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes.
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 On a roll call vote of 7 voting yes, 0 voting no, 0 voting present, item number 9-2 is passed and approved for the chain link fence at 953 Wentworth. Congratulations to the resident. And Director Tillman, you'll notify them
Yes.
tomorrow?
Yes, the one is already present. But I will get you
Okay. Item number 10 on the agenda are resolutions. Alderman, we have resolutions 10-1 through 6. You heard the presentations as given today. Are there any questions? If not, Alderman Tillman, do you have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve items under resolutions and ordinances 1 through 6 as presented.
Motion made by Alderman Tillman. Is there a second?
Second with discussion.
Second by Alderwoman Wilson for discussion.
I would like to have Section 10, item number 3, table.
Well, Alderman, you can't make a motion while there's a motion on the floor already. There's already a motion to approve the ordinances, so you can't make a motion to table that motion, table the item while there's a pending motion.
Well, we've done it before, but I understand what you're saying, so I rescind my motion. I rescind my second.
Alderwoman Wilson has rescinded her second. Is there a second to the motion to approve items 10-1 through 6?
I got a question.
Are you?
Alderman Williams? Yeah, I'll second it, but it's this discussion.
For the record, Alderwoman Wilson rescinded her motion. Alderman Williams seconded the motion to approve item 10-1 through 6. And there's a question from Alderman Williams.
Yeah, hold on one second.
Y'all can take it to a vote. I'll just vote how I vote.
I rescind my discussion.
Madam Clerk, can you call the roll on the...
If I may, Mayor, I just want to explain it. Item 3 came out of the committee meeting that was held May 15th. All the aldermen, I believe, were present, maybe with the exception of one. The recommendations that came from the committee were implemented into this ordinance. The purpose of this ordinance is to ensure decorum in our meetings for all elected officials. A person can't be censored unless it is a vote by the majority of the aldermen at the next meeting. So I just wanted to, clear up any confusions. I can ask any questions because I was the one that helped the attorneys draft it.
Well, I do have a question because I'm sorry.
Alderwoman Wilson.
I've submitted emails to this council, the chair of ordinance and resolution, as well as our attorneys without any response about email violations. And so I do not believe that this will be upheld in the manner of which you intended. That is my concern.
That's not really relevant to the
It's relevant.
ordinance.
It's relevant because
That's
if I
before
can't
us
get
right
a
now.
response now on something that's already on the books, we're going to put something new on the books where the attorneys don't even respond to what's there now.
So the motion on the floor is to approve items 10-1 through 6. Madam Clerk, can you please call roll on items 10-1 through 6?
We finish discussion.
I just called the roll, Alderman, so we finished with discussion.
Phillips? Yes.
Yes. No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Nelson? No.
On a roll call vote of 4 voting yes, 3 voting no, items 10-1 through 6 are approved. Just for the benefit of the council, the 3 people who just voted no, you voted against the new businesses that we just talked about.
Oh.
It passed.
It passed, so it doesn't matter.
Because we
It
wanted to take it
passed.
separately.
To the new businesses, we apologize. We should have taken that separately.
It's wrong that you put this back on here and told me no.
We apologize to the new
Alderwoman,
business.
wait. We're not going to shout across the room, so the vote is taken, so we're going to move on. Alderwoman, you're out of order, Alderwoman. You're out of order, so we're moving on. So at this time, before we go to financial matters, is there a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of pending litigation and for the discussion of real property? Is that correct, Attorney Dominic?
Yes, Your Honor.
Real property. Is there a motion to go into executive session at 7:14 p.m.?
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Nelson, second by Alderwoman Harvey. All in favor? Aye. All right, everyone, we're in executive session till at 7:14 p.m. All right, everyone, we would like to return to the regular order of business. Is there a motion to return to the regular order of business at 7:52 p.m.?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Williams. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Harvey. All in favor?
Aye.
We're back in the regular order of business. We're under financial matters. A few items. I received an email from Chief Kolash regarding items number 36 through 40. 36 is from the federal asset forfeiture funds, which will be used to pay for the installation of the emergency equipment, no city funds used. 37 is from the federal asset forfeiture funds, which will be used to pay for the license plate readers. No city funds will be used for this. Item number 38 is the law enforcement software that was approved in the budget. Item 39 is a lateral hire incentive pay, which is part of the recruitment and retention grant funds that will be used for the payment pursuant to our collective bargaining agreement. No city funds will be used for this. And also for item number 40 under financial matters, the purchase of additional LPRs. This is part of the organized retail crime grant funds, and no city funds will be used for that. 27, 28, and 29 are engineering items. Matt, do you have anything to add for items 27, 28, and 29?
Only item, Your Honor, is the 27 and 28 are just closeout items. We were awaiting IDOT approval for those, and now that we have those, we can move forward. Those are the closeout construction projects from last year, or completed at the start of this year. And then 29 is, that is follow-up to a resolution that was passed previously in June for the expenditures of the motor fuel tax funds, which are different than general obligation or sewer and water funds.
Okay. And if we can remove item number 9 from the agenda at the request of the department. And Alderman Gardner?
Yes. I just wanted to just make a statement on record pertaining to item number 1. I see that there's a CC Wrap assistance item here. As I stated before, I don't mind us helping the residents contingent that we can do so. I know now we don't have funds allocated, and I am a proponent of us partnering with the township, seeing that they are there for general assistance to the residents. I'm not sure what line item this is coming out of.
I'm gonna change it.
For number 1.
Okay.
Item number 1. So I want to take that separately.
Oh,
Go ahead, Alderwoman.
you can remove item number 1 if you want. That's my ward, and I knew nothing of it.
Well, I mean, I don't know how the council wishes to proceed, but I would like to ask the attorney to weigh in on this because I don't feel comfortable using taxpayer money to pay water bills or whatever bill this is.
So, item number 1, we can just remove it from the record. Item, we will require a motion to do that. Item number 2, Alderman Williams, that's the one you want to change?
To amend item number 2 to remove the CC wrap language, add neighborhood development, and to apply to account number 01099522725, which is the 4th Ward Neighborhood Development account.
Can we have a motion to all-encompassing motion, number 1, to remove item number 1 from the agenda, a motion to amend item number 2 to reflect the account for the neighborhood 4th Ward account, to remove item number 9 from the agenda, and
One more item. Item 48, the amount is incorrect. The amount on the invoice is $800 and not $15.
which item is that, Alderman?
Item 48.
Item 48, the amount is $1,500?
No, $800.
$800.
Not 15, which is what is stated.
Okay. Same account number, Alderman?
Correct.
Okay. So you heard the motion to amend the items and to remove items. Is there a motion for, again, let me repeat this, to remove item number 1 from the agenda? Item number 2 from the agenda would be amended to reflect the 4th Ward neighborhood account. Item number 9 will be removed from the agenda. Item number 48 will be amended to reflect $800 per Alderman Tillman. Can someone please make that a motion to amend and that motion to remove?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Williams, second by Alderwoman Nelson. Madam Clerk, can you call a roll?
Yes.
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 Now, the second motion is to approve items 2 through 54 as amended from the previous motion. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second. Motion made by Alderman Williams, second by Alderman Tillman. Madam Clerk, can you please call a roll?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Alderman. We have reports of standing committees. Finance, Alderman Williams.
No report at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Public Safety, Alderman Gardner.
Just briefly, I would like to just thank the council for the support tonight on the item to give the city authority to move forward with the school district's attorneys to negotiate a potential intergovernmental agreement for the citywide crossing guard program. So thank you all for that. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Phillips, Public Utilities.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few things that I would like to share with the residents. Starting August the 18th, Metro and Pace will offer free rides to for school age K through 12 students on the first day of school. So they'll be offering free bus rides and train rides for students going back to school, and that's not only for the public school system, but also some of the suburban schools. Also, I know you guys have seen, but Calumet City, along with Mayor Thaddeus Jones, the Calumet City Council, and Representative Marcus C. Evans invites you for our Calumet City recycling event, which will be held Saturday, August the 16th. from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. right here at City Hall. The items that they will be discarding will be the shredding of documents, electronic recycling, and old prescriptions. Also, I have one more thing. You guys will be getting in the mail coming soon a notice of the electric aggregation program, and that's in partnership with ComEd. So once you guys receive the letter, if you've got any questions regarding it, please feel free to reach out to me. And my number is 708-891-8197. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderwoman, if you can please add the treasurer to, the treasurer has been real good with the electric aggregation.
Yes.
If you can please add them to any discussions you have with the electric aggregation.
I will do, and I also would like to thank Treasurer Tarker because he is the one who actually enlightened me on the actual program. So again, thank you, Treasurer.
All right. Ordinance and resolutions, Alderman Tillman.
No report.
Thank you, Alderman. Health, Education, Welfare, Alderwoman Wilson.
Thank you. Health, Education, and Welfare will be calling a committee of the whole on August 27, 2025. That's a Wednesday at 6 p.m. We are going to discuss and maybe have action on an ordinance or a program regarding domestic violence and bringing or making Calumet City a safe family zone. We will have speakers to give testimony from different organizations, and this program is in partnership with Tom Dart's office. So that will be, again, August 27, 2025, calling a committee of the whole for health, education, and welfare.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Permits and licenses, Alderwoman Harvey.
Yes, so I do have a summary of revenue from January 1st, 2025 to August 14th for all business licenses and citations. So far between those dates stated, business licenses, we have collected $316,506.25. And then for all citations collected comes to $175,925.68. The total for those two comes to $492,431.93. Also, the business license costs were reduced from $500. They are now $250. That is all I have.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Public Works, Alderwoman Nelson.
Good evening, residents. Public Works has not had the committee meeting yet. We will begin our committee meeting starting September of this year. Also, I wanted to give the report on just what we're working on with Public Works is, again, the pumping stations and the retention ponds. Myself and two other alderwomen are going to take a tour throughout the city tomorrow, actually, in regards to the pumping station and the retention pond. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. For my council report, I just want to inform the public that we've made the decision with the library to move Jazz on the Grass to Sears parking lot. I've also commissioned formed a new library foundation. The goal is to raise $500,000 which will pay for Jazz on the Grass and similar city events. To take the burden off the neighborhood, we are moving Jazz on the Grass from the library to the Sears parking lot to make sure that the neighbors can comfortably park on their street, but also continue Jazz on the Grass. And also vendors will be charging. This was a concern of the city council. They will be charging for food. Through my personal funds, I will be paying for 500 seniors who attend the event, each Jazz on the Grass from now until the end of September. I believe 21st is the last date. So again, we are moving Jazz on the Grass from the Calumet City Library in conjunction with the library and moving it to the Sears parking lot. The next date for Jazz on the Grass is August 21st. It will be Farley, Jack Master, whatever. You guys know, I guess I should read the flyer, but it's Farley Jackmaster will be doing August 21st with Jazz on the Grass. So the library has scheduled a Night Under the Stars event, which will be the first kickoff for the foundation. It is a foundation established under the library. All donations will be tax deductible, which will be November 1st. So our goal is to reimburse the library and reimburse for any costs that have been associated with this. But moving forward, the foundation will be the one that will be sponsoring the Jazz on the Grass starting next year. And that is all that I have under my report. Under City Council reports, Alderwoman Phillips, let's start on this side.
Nothing to report, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderwoman Nelson, under City Council reports.
Nothing to report.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderman Gardner, City Council reports.
Yes, very briefly. Thank you, Mayor. This past weekend was the Back to School Bash, my office in partnership with the Lincoln Elementary School. I would like to thank the Lincoln Elementary School District 156 for their partnership in this past weekend's Back to School Bash. I would also like to thank my colleagues on City Council that supported this event. I would like to thank all of the vendors, Family Dental, Chaotic Customs Motorcycle Club, and Astound Broadband. A special shout out to all of the volunteers of the 5th Ward that came out and made this event a success. Lastly, I would like to just have the residents to continue to call my office, 708-891-8195, in reference to any concerns that you may have. 708-891-8195. You guys have a safe weekend. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman. We'll go back to Alderwoman Nelson.
I don't have a report, but I want to apologize to Alderman Tillman. He showed me that the language was not changed, and I apologize for my outburst, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. 4th Ward Alderman Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. First, down to God who makes all things possible. I want to thank the residents that came out to the 3rd and 4th Ward Town Hall meeting that my colleague Alderman Tillman facilitated in my absence in celebration of my birthday. I know I said thank you for being there because I wasn't.
Could have handled it.
Also, I want to invite the residents to the 3rd and 4th Ward Back to School Picnic this weekend, this Sunday, from 12 to 4 at Downey Park, 600 Jeffrey. And I also want to thank the sponsors and those that played some part in its putting it together and the success that we expect it to be. That's it.
Thank you, Alderman. 3rd Ward Alderman Tillman.
Nothing, Mayor.
2nd Ward Alderwoman Wilson.
Thank you. 2nd Ward, you heard it here. Thank you, Mayor, for moving Jazz on the Grass out of the beautiful 2nd Ward. So you can stop calling, complaining about people parking in your grass, leaving bottles in your grass. We understand that you take time and to maintain your property. So it is moving to the Sears building. And rightfully so, because we were nervous. Anything with Farley on it draws 1,000 people easy. So send everybody to the Sears building. I'd like to thank Lincoln and Alderman Gardner for including the 2nd Ward in the Back to School event. It was the epitome of what community and unity is when it comes to our children and going back to school. It was a beautiful day, full of vendors, full of volunteers, and it was a blessing to be a blessing. And I will never make the mistake again thinking that 150 of anything is okay going to Lincoln, because that went in 2 seconds flat. We have a back to school extravaganza on Saturday, August 16th at Memorial Park. It's at the Fun Center, 612 Wentworth Avenue, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. or until till supplies run out. The highlights, the Park District is having backpack and school supply giveaways, free food, hot dog, chips, and drinks. Food for purchase will be wings, nachos, and walk-in tacos. There will be inflatables, game trucks, and of course, we are home to mini golf. So bring your families to enjoy that. On August 30th, save the date, Second Ward, meet and mingle with me, Monet. We are going to meet at Don Pedro upstairs from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. This is a free event, but only if you live in the Second Ward will you be given a ticket to eat. I'm checking addresses at the door. Please register by sending me a text, 708-586-4990. I thank the ward for continuing to reach out to me. You can continue to do so by phone call or by text. Again, that number is 708-586-4990. I do want to make sure that everyone understands. When you send me an item that must appear before this council, I have to put it in 1 week prior to the council meeting. So if you sent me something today, it won't go on the agenda until August 28th. That's our next council meeting. You are more than welcome to come down here and hang out with us during the council meetings every second and fourth Thursday at 6 o'clock here at 204 Pulaski Road, City Hall. This is the final week for registration for the Calumet City Chargers. If you have 6-year-olds or 13-year-olds, they are being covered through a mentorship grant. Bring them on down. All you have to do is pay for their uniform. I personally am going to pay for a 12-year-old that would like to play national tackle football. My Chasey Bear cannot play this year due to health reasons. He has to sit out a season. So I'm going to cover the cost for one child that has never played for us but would like the opportunity to learn the fundamentals of national football. That is all I have. Thank you, and have a great 25-26 school year, kiddos. Enjoy being back at school. Our refrigerators thank the teachers. That's it.
I was waiting for you to take a breath and just to finish that. Alderwoman Harvey.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be brief. First Ward, our town hall meeting is August 19th, 2025, 520 Sibley, which is All Nations Church. Meet me there at 6 p.m. Please RSVP at 708-891-8198 by August 16th if you can. If for any reason you do not get a chance to RSVP, please come by anyway on August 19th, 2025 at 520 Sibley, All Nations Church for the First Ward Town Hall meeting. That's all I have.
Thank you, Alderwoman. There being no further business to come before the City Council, is there a motion to adjourn at 8:14 p.m.?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Williams, second by Alderwoman Harvey. I won't even look on this side anymore. With Alderman Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 8:14 p.m. Good night, everyone.